Aaron Rodgers is now in talks to be traded. He has a no trade clause, of course. We know about the no trade clause. And if he did try to get sent anywhere else, he could say, hey, I'm not going to go play there. It is what it is. Like, not happening. You can forget about it. So he's really going to have a good, picking and choosing, type of battle here to determine the next part of his career. So let's start with the New York Jets. And I wasn't a major fan of when I heard this. Jets, not really well ran. Just a lot of kids, a lot of, not necessarily goofiness, but it's not the greatest culture right now in the NFL. Harsh media. It's like, would Rodgers want to go for that? Being single, just wanting to live the best parts of his life. Is that realistically a place that Aaron Rodgers would want to go? Now, for years, the Jets have been pointing to the future for a couple years now. And the Jets said that they already said that they will go all out to sign Aaron Rodgers. Now, when Joe Douglas was hired as the general manager in 2019, he set out to get the team in better salary cap shape. And then he started moving assets to acquire that draft capital. And the biggest one of those clearly was Jamal Adams when he moved him into Seattle, which brought back 2 first-round picks. Now, when Robert Saleh arrived in 2021, it felt as if everyone knew that major changes were going to be happening soon within the New York Jets organization. I mean, you could just see it. You could feel it. We had a lot of talks about just the energy that Robert Saleh brought to it. People were saying on TV within just a couple of days of the hire that the Jets were going to win 10 and 12 games. I was never necessarily on that, but Robert Saleh, new energy, new coach. Clearly, he's very smart. He did a lot of great things with the 49ers, and that is what earned him this job here. Now, here was kind of the thing, right? They were going to be treading water with a rookie quarterback in 2021. They were teaching young players how to win necessarily in 2022. And then they were going to go for it this year in 2023. So for the first 2 months of this season, it felt like they had arrived early. They were playing with house money. They had nothing to lose. And they kind of were looking to be a playoff team. Then they lost the final 6 games of the season and spent January watching the postseason at home instead of playing it in the NFL. Now, it was very clear this past season also that the quarterback was holding back the New York Jets. The quarterback position was clearly holding back the New York Jets. We saw that multiple times this year. And even when winning games, Mike White looked better. They were being held back by quarterback position even when they were winning games. Mike White looked better than Zach Wilson, but wasn't enough to take them over the hump and actually to get to the top like this culture, like this franchise, like these fans actually want with the New York Jets. The world is absolutely out on Zach Wilson. The locker room is out. The numbers show that we're out on him. The talent's not there. The league is out. They are out on Zach Wilson. They're not looking back to him. They're absolutely not looking back to them. And that's why I have this tangent or this take here about Aaron Rodgers going to the Jets. Because they cannot continue to be held back by the quarterback position. Now, of course, you got to worry about Quentin Wilson extension. You got to bolster that O-line. You got to bring back Quincy Williams and Sheldon Rankins as well. Miss him over in New Orleans, of course. Now, this defense, we know it's playoff caliber. You've got Quentin Williams, Sauce Gardner, Garrett Wilson, Breece Hall, Elijah Moore, Elijah Vera Tucker. These guys are future stars. Some already consider them stars in the league. Clearly, Sauce Gardner, Breece Hall's looking great. Garrett Wilson, obviously. Just great guys overall in their first year. I wish I would have seen Breece been able to finish it out. But bringing in Aaron Rodgers, we know what he's capable of. And this would be a perfect bridge situation. Maybe he comes here for a year, 2 years, 3 years. I think he gets you to at least an AFC championship, and it wouldn't be crazy to say a Super Bowl. The defense is there. I know the culture and the coaching is like really the biggest, but one of the only turnoffs there. The offense clearly has a lot of weapons. You would have it to hang with the offensive line as well. So Aaron Rodgers to the Jets, as much as I didn't like it at first, actually seems like a viable spot for him to arrive in. Now, you take a look at the fact that the offense was 25th overall in yards with just under 320 a game. They were dead middle of the pack in pass yards per game and 4th worst in points per game with just 17. They are out on Zach Wilson. They need a quarterback. And I believe Aaron Rodgers could be that solution for the New York Jets right here. Again, guys, call into the show, 678-480-8716, 678-480-8716. Hit me up on social media, comment on the video. I see the chat from all platforms on here. Wherever you are at, let me know your take that you've got for the show this evening. Now, he's ruled out the 49ers, unfortunately. We can't do anything about that, but I think we all know that would be great. Brandon Ayuk, Deebo Samuel, the offensive line, what the defense has so far, Christian McCaffrey, George Kittle. Like, it would be insane. The culture, the coaching, like he would have the full package in San Francisco. Don't really feel like I need to elaborate on that if you're in the game. If you're in the game of football, if you watch the game of football, if you report on the game of football, you know that Aaron Rodgers to San Francisco, realistically, I feel like, again, could be the best arrival spot for him. Better than the Jets, and not in a bad way, but not by like a whole lot. Well, no, let me take that back. I will say it is by a whole lot, but nonetheless, Jets and Niners, great landing spots for Aaron Rodgers. I know he's ruled out the Niners as well. And then you have the Dolphins. Hear me out here on the Dolphins. You got a left tackle in Teron Armstead. You've got awesome weapons in Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle, who are the fastest guys in the NFL right now. You've got Mike Gesicki as well. You have an amazing city by the beach. You get out of the Green Bay like he's possibly wanting to this year with the trade, and you soak up some of that awesome weather. It's an amazing situation in Miami. Tua's health does concern me. I know for all the Tua fans out there, they're going to go insane on me, but let's be real. I felt like every time there was an actual report or a story about Tua, then it was, oh, Brady's going to come in. Oh, possibly trading for Deshaun Watson. Oh, what would this trade package look like with Tua to get Miami over the hump? Those types of articles are still out there with as much love as people have for Tua. And I'm concerned for his health. The concussions scare me. Again, great bridge situation, or maybe Tua is still viable. You can rework some money somehow, let him sit behind Aaron Rodgers, one of the smartest guys in the league. This could really change the trajectory of the next few years for the Miami Dolphins if Aaron Rodgers actually came over. So again, Miami wouldn't be horrible. Left tackle, Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle. The defense, yes, could be better, but it would be great for Aaron Rodgers. And then some people are talking about the Las Vegas Raiders, which, again, reuniting him with Devontae Adams, giving him not a George Kittle, a Darren Waller, but it's bad culture. I don't really like the coaching. I don't like the defense. It's not a great organization. So when you look at the Raiders and the Jets, you don't really like the coaching or the culture in either one. You feel better about the coaching in New York than I know you feel about the coaching in Las Vegas. The Jets have a defense. The Raiders don't. The Niners and the Dolphins feel like the best. But if I'm going to say a true realistic landing spot for Aaron Rodgers, it's going to be the Jets, or even, unfortunately, the Raiders. I can just see how people are getting behind it, reuniting him with Devontae Adams, giving him a Darren Waller. But I think personally the two best spots are Miami and San Francisco. I know he's ruled out San Francisco. I don't really think I've heard talks of Miami, but just looking into it, it would show you that. And out of those two,